Much that I cannot watch. Oh, sorry. My name is David Andreessen. I've been Dennis for over 20 years. First off, thank you very much, Dwayne, for asking me to speak here. I feel very honored, truly blessed, and of course condolences to you and all the family there. Just a little warning here, this might go off the rails quickly, so just buckle up. I'm trying to stay positive and upbeat like Dennis always was. He was just always a fun, positive guy. I first met Dennis in probably about, I think it was about year 2000 at Cat's Bar. They had karaoke nights. So we always, both of us loved karaoke, and we just happened to, go there for karaoke nights and just basically became friends there. And we used to karaoke so many times over the past 20 years. A lot of you know he was a very, very good singer, but it wasn't just about singing. He was a performer. I mean, he would just move around on stage, interact with the crowd. He liked to change up words, and the songs he was singing just to make sure people were paying attention and everything. Dennis was never one at all to back away from, hide from attention. He just embraced it all the time. I mean, if you saw any of those group photos with the friends, he was pretty much always just front and center there. Some of the really good songs he did very well at were like Pink Houses by John Cougar, like Slide, Goo Goo Dolls, but he bust out some Tom Petty or Def Leppard or Poison. And one of the best compliments would be when I'd be watching him sing, there would be a total stranger next to me and just go, wow, he's good. And I just look at him and go, yeah, he is. He was good. And he wasn't really afraid to try new stuff. He would just, he wasn't one of those people that would sing all the same songs over and over and over. He would, he probably had 100+ songs in his repertoire. And he liked to encourage other singers. He'd give them compliments, tell them to, try something outside the box, and just try something new that maybe they wouldn't have expected. That's the way Dennis was. Some of the traits that kind of drew me and a lot of friends to Dennis, one of them, of course, was his quirkiness. I mean, for sure, if you saw the photos there or in person, anytime you see him, he'd be making some goofy face or some hand gestures. Always, he didn't care about being photogenic. He would just live for the moment there. And just make sure everybody was having fun and make sure that he was having as much fun as possible. Another quirk, which some of the good friends got to see, was his routine when he went out and got ready to go out. He had all these gels and lotions and creams and cologne. He would say it was only like 5 steps, but it was probably closer to 10 steps. For sure. And for sure, you did not want to interrupt him during one of those steps, because if you did, you'd have to retrace the steps. Worst case scenario, you have to go all the way back to the beginning and start over. So that, there's another 10, 15 minutes that we're just going to have to wait here. And he also had a great sense of humor. He could be very sarcastic, but always trying to make people laugh, be uplifting. On social media, he always posts funny quotes, Snapchat funny pictures. A lot of times I'd be out with him and people go, hey, I really like that quote you said about that, or that funny picture you had there. So he was always like that. Another thing about Dennis, very, very opinionated. No question about that. He would tell you his opinion and then give you 17 more reasons why he felt that way. That's just the way it was. But Dennis he was a nice guy. He wasn't in your face about his opinions and say, you're wrong, call you a name or something like that. That's one of the biggest things I heard from people that reached out to me the past week, is that he was such a nice guy. And he was just so nice. So a lot of times, he'd say something or hear somebody's opinion, and he'd kind of do one of these, not so much. Or he kind of, cock his head and go, I don't don't know about that. He wouldn't just come out and say, you're wrong, whatever. So that's just the way he was. Whenever we were in a group setting, he was always the center of attention. He kind of just drove the conversation there. I kind of look at it like he was the sun, driving all this talk, and we were just planets around him, chiming in every now and then. So that was great to be out with him in a group setting there. Dennis definitely cherished family. I mean, family was everything to him. I mean, Dave, his brother Dave, we would, sorry. Even though Dave was around it all the time, and they could talk whenever they wanted to, we'd go out somewhere, and it would just be Dave and Dennis just talking by themselves just for hours. It was just great brotherly love. And Dennis always joked that, Dave always joked that Dennis was the favorite son. Dave was called favorite, but I'm sure both parents loved them equally. Right? But it was still fun to hear Dave just refer to Dennis as his favorite. And Dad Dwayne, he would show up every Saturday he could, for a visit, stay, whenever he could, because why phone call, why phone it in when you could just go there and just spend good quality family time. And then there was always those large Steffensmeier family gatherings. Big, huge gatherings. I mean, saw some pictures up there, but it just seemed like, every year they were just grow, become bigger. Dennis also cherished work very much. He was a hard worker. You saw one of the photos up there. He got in 2015. He got a trophy for top performer, lead desk at Marriott. And to Dennis, work was kind of like an extended family. He was always trying to make keep people positive, having fun at the same time. And a lot of the coworkers just ended up becoming lifelong friends after that. Even if they left the company where Dennis was, or Dennis went to another company, they just, those people that just hung around a lot. Then another one of Dennis's, besides singing karaoke, one of his passions was music. Just loved all things music. And mostly rock music. You could stray a little bit, but of course U2 was definitely his favorite all-time band. And I go riding with the car past few years, and he had satellite radio, and it was always on the YouTube channel. And he would know like every lyric to every U2 song. I mean, all the deep cuts, everything. He just knew all the words. So it was great. I actually got to go to 2 U2 concerts with Dennis, just to see how happy he was to be at those shows and just sing along with Bono and everybody else in the crowd. It was just so awesome. And past several years, we went to concerts like Soundgarden, Godsmack, Tesla, Guns N' Roses, down Lincoln, great show, Black Crowes, and even REO Speedway. So he just loved that. And it wasn't just national acts. He loved to go see local music too. He was just became such friends with all the local musicians, and he had a great memory. He'd talk about one of the local band members, and then you could rattle off the 4 or 5 other bands that same person had been in. That's just the way he was. You just knew that. And he was kind of like Rain Man. We played this little game called, what year was this famous person born in? And just out of nowhere, he just, we were talking about a movie or something, and somebody's name would come up, and he'd be like, oh yeah, they were born in 1972. Or, oh yeah, they were born in 1965. But my all-time favorite one was whenever Robert De Niro came up, he'd be like, born in 1943, same year as my dad. I don't know how many times I've heard that. It never got old. Never got old. That was just so awesome. And of course, Dennis just loved sports. He was very loyal to his favorite teams. Football had the San Francisco 49ers, so another couple Niners fans out there, at least. All right. So got to have some good years there. basketball, huge Los Angeles Lakers fan. There's a lot, of course, Lakers over the past few decades have a lot of great players, but Kobe Bryant was far and away his most favorite player. And it was real easy to start an argument with Dennis. All you would have to say is, Michael Jordan is better than Kobe Bryant. And that's it. And then Dennis would go on 5 minutes on all these reasons why he thought Kobe Bryant was better than Michael Jordan. And then you just kind of look at him after he's finished talking, and you go, yeah, but Jordan's still better. And he'd go off on another few minutes more reasons why he thought Kobe Bryant. So that was always fun. I'm going to miss that because that would happen a lot. We used to like to just razz him about that all the time. And he liked Chicago Cubs, those lovable losers. But I wasn't exactly a Cubs fan, but all his really, really closest friends were Chicago Cubs fans. And so I would, of course, root for the Cubs, you know, if they got the playoffs and such. And a lot of times we, for his birthday month in July, we would go to Chicago, stay. He'd always have the nice hotel, hook up there since he worked at the places there. And just go to Chicago, check out a game at Wrigley, and of course just see all the different Chicago sites. The best one, last one, was the 2016 World Series when we went there. We didn't actually go to any games, but we just kind of hung out there. The atmosphere and everything was great. And even though they only won one game there in Chicago, Game 5, they were able to go back to Cleveland and win the last two and win that first World Series in over 100 years. So that was pretty fun memories. Then, of course, the Corn Huskers. I mean, most people around here, college football, it's got to be Huskers. And Dennis was like all Husker sports. I mean, football's the main one, but he would just love all Husker sports. And of course, the last 20 years has been really, really tough. You got to deal with the bad times and the badder times. So just, yeah, not fun. Oh, but we had a lot of fun road trips back in the Big 12 days. Go to Kansas State games. Had fun at the USC game in 2006 out there in Los Angeles. That was a good, just overall trip. But most of the time, if we went for a good game day experience, we just go down to Lincoln and if we couldn't go to the game, we just go watch it somewhere with, hundreds of thousands of our closest friends there. Usually be ending up at like seeing the sidetrack band, or bands playing outside MC Suites. And usually we'd end up karaoke at the Beacon Lounge there. So, kind of wrap it up here. I've got a favorite story that really just sums up things about Dennis. Kind of encompasses all things. So a group of us was staying out of town somewhere, and we were all gathered in one of the hotel rooms to get ready to go out. And Dennis, just out of nowhere, was standing maybe a foot in front of a really big room mirror there. And he just looked at himself and said, "How you doing?" And it was just the most Dennis thing. It's like, he just didn't care. We didn't know if he was like talking to himself, build confidence, maybe he was preparing to might meet some gal that night, who knows. But, or it might have been, step 11 on the 10-step process of getting ready. We had never seen that before. We all got a chuckle about that, and we still talk about it really to this day. It was just so much fun. So, when I reached out to friends to give things to say about Dennis, the most popular thing, of course, was great friend, truly missed. So it's going to be tough. For people our age, this one really hit very hard. But memories live on for decades. So, in honor of Dennis, I got one last thing to do here, a kind of group participation. I need everybody to stand up if you're able to. And We're gonna do a little Kobe Bryant salute here. A little chest pound and pointing up. So, real simple. What you'll do is just make a fist with your right hand, and you're gonna tap like your heart a couple times, then point up, and I want you to shout Dennis as loud as you can. Okay? So I'll say 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah!